Somebody wrote to ask, what is bid'ah in Islam, or what constitutes a bid'ah? The first thing to understand this is to understand what is bid'ah from a language point of view, because oftentimes we put definitions to words that are false, and we keep moving along with them, and that's how we get misconceptions. So bid'ah is simply something in the Arabic language, is simply something that's new. It wasn't before, and now it is. But when it comes to issues of Islamic doctrine and Islamic practices, acts of devotion, etc., the bid'ah falls into the 5 legal categories that we have. So the 5 legal categories are wajib, something is necessary, so there could be a bid'ah that's necessary. Mandub, there could be a bid'ah that's recommended. Mubah, there could be a bid'ah that's it's permissible. Makruh, it could be a bid'ah that's disliked or reprehensible, as sometimes we translate it, or haram, or it could be a bid'ah that is impermissible. So it's not one kind of bid'ah. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ, he said, as is recorded in Bukhari and Muslim, "Man ahdatha fi amrina hadha ma laysa minhu fahuwa rad." Anybody that invents something that is not from this religion, it is rejected. Meaning that something could be invented that is from the religion. So if I came and I said, look, there's only 2 prayers. What's this 5 nonsense? There's only 2 prayers. You would say this is a haram bid'ah, because no, there are 5, it's in the hadith, we have ijma' over this, and you would be correct. So that's not from the religion. But if I say, you know what, let's fast the first Sunday of every month as a community. Well, there's no hadith that says fast every Sunday of every month, but fasting is from the sunnah, it's from the religion, it's from the Quran. This would be a good sunnah. And the Prophet ﷺ said, if you man sanna sunnatan hasana, whoever invents a good sunnah, they get the reward of it and the reward of everyone that does it. So if you guys say, okay, we're going to all fast the first Sunday of every month, and I'm the one that came up with that idea, I would get the reward of everyone's fast. You would also get the reward, and I get the reward for fasting myself, for example. So the bid'ah is not something that anything that's new is haram. It's anything that's new that's not from the principles of the faith. What is an example of a bid'ah that's obligatory? The Mus'haf. The Mus'haf was not compiled in one book. It was memorized, and they were in different sort of parchments and bones, and some surahs here, some surahs there, but it was primarily memorized. But as Islam expanded, and as the huffaz, the memorizers of the Quran had perished in different battles, old age, etc., the companions, they said, we got to put this all together. We don't want to lose the Mus'haf. That was something that the Prophet ﷺ did not necessarily do or order them to do, but it was something that became obligatory. So we have the Mus'haf today. Taraweeh prayer. This was not communal Taraweeh prayer, was not necessarily the Sunnah. It was Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu's intuition and innovation that brought the people together, and it's a good bid'ah. So oftentimes we misunderstand bid'ah because of the hadith, شَرَّ الْأُمُورِ مُحْدَثَاتُهَا فَكُلِّ مُحْدَثَةٍ بِدْعَةٍ. Every newly invented matter is a bid'ah. But you have to put this hadith with the other hadith that we just mentioned, that if you invent something that's not from the religion, it's rejected. You can't take one hadith and think you understand it. You have to put all of the hadith together to see what the general meaning of that subject matter is. So anything that is new, that is not from the principles of the faith, that is something that we would reject. But if you bring something, some creative idea, some innovative idea that is based on the principles of Islam, as we say, ahlan wa sahlan, we would welcome that, respect that, we would honor that, and we would act on it. So I hope this is clear. Wallahu a'lam.